Summer 1911 arrived with a suffocating heat in West Crowley, but the town felt a deeper, more chilling dread that no sun could burn away. In the courtroom, Raymond Barnabit's two children, Clementine and Zephyrin, stood before a sea of curious, suspicious faces. Zephyrin nodded through tears, repeating the same haunting details. The story was shocking. A father turned into a night-stalking butcher. But something didn't sit right. Even the judge could feel it? The kids' words were too polished, too practiced, as if they'd been rehearsed. With trembling voices, they described how their father returned home the night of the Andres murders, hands stained with blood, eyes filled with something monstrous. Clementine told the jury how he'd grinned at her, smeared the blood on her dress, and threatened to kill her if she ever spoke of it. So the verdict was delayed. Raymond remained in jail, but the court hesitated, waiting for the truth to reveal itself. Mother, father, and 3 children, all hacked to pieces with an axe, except this time there was a bullet wound in the father's head. It sounded impossible, but every new clue seemed to twist logic into a nightmare. When the police questioned her, she insisted she'd been with friends, but when those friends were interviewed, they denied it completely. You might see a murder, as if the killer wanted to send a twisted signature. The only survivor was a 9-year-old daughter who had been sleeping at her aunt's house. She returned home to find everyone she loved lying in pools of their own blood. The blood type matched the Randall family, but that was as far as science could go. No DNA, no definitive answers. Or had they accidentally accused their own father of crimes he hadn't committed? Except this crime took place while Clementine was already in jail. Clementine sat in her cell, weeping, repeating she was innocent, but the suspicion grew around her like a storm cloud, that truth wouldn't wait long. On a cold morning in November, news spread like wildfire. Another family, the Randalls, had been massacred in their own home. Every time he thought he was getting close, the truth slid away like smoke. The ritual, the symbols, the cruelty, all of it pointed to something far bigger, something twisted beyond any single human being. There was no possible way he could have done it. Clementine and Zephyrin had sworn their father was a monster, but that meant one of 2 terrifying things. Either the children had lied, or the real killer was still loose and very close. That single bullet changed everything. This time, the killer left something new. The bucket of blood was only half full, and there were tiny splinters shoved between the children's fingers. On the front door, a strange, nearly unreadable message was scrawled in pencil. Detective Lacoste was stunned. Raymond was still in jail when the Randalls died. Desperate for answers, Lacoste began digging through old files, hoping to catch a thread he had missed. That's when he found a case from 40 years ago, almost identical in every disturbing detail. The victims back then had also been a black family, butchered in their sleep. A bucket of blood left beside the bodies. That crime had never been solved. Lacoste's mind reeled. Could these murders be connected, even separated by 4 decades? Was the same killer somehow still out there? Then, a break. Several witnesses came forward claiming they had seen Clementine near the Randall home on the night of the murders. On top of that, Pastor King Harris stepped up and told police he'd seen Clementine around the Randall property before the killings, and she'd even warned him, "Don't go near there." That was enough for Lacoste to act. He had Clementine arrested, hoping to finally get closer to the truth. Blood samples were taken from her dress, tested against what little methods they had at the time, and then, before investigators could even settle their thoughts, the unthinkable happened again. Another family, a mother and 3 children, murdered in their beds with an axe, exactly like the others. Lacoste was ready to pull his own hair out. Nothing made sense. Was there more than one killer? Was this some secret cult? Were the children lying? Then, only 2 days after that, the worst nightmare yet hit Louisiana. The Broussard family, father, mother, 3 kids, all slaughtered in their home. When he looks for blood, he does not forget the cries of the humble, and written beneath it, in what appeared to be blood itself, the 5th human, Lacoste felt the walls of his mind closing in. But Clementine remained in her cell, watching, silent, her eyes dark as a storm.